Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo. Today is Monday, November 2nd, and because it's a Monday, that means it's time for What Sold on eBay. Just like every week, guys, I'm going to take you on a walk through our Instagram photos from the week to show you our packages that we sent out, just to give you an overall idea of our volume. And then we'll go over to eBay, where I've picked out highlights from the week, whether they be Bolo brands you should be on the lookout for, or solid bread and butter brands that we flip on the regular for a good amount of profit. You're going to see as we go through these photos here that sales, as far as volume, are all over the place. We are having absolute crappy days. Then we're having really good days, and then we're bouncing back to even worse, and then okay, and then bad. I did check on the back end of our seller hub. We are up 16% over the last 31 days and up over 30% from this time last year. So if eBay is correct, and that is true, then even though our volume is way down, our actual amount, our total amount of sales is up 16%, over the last month, and 30% from last year. Now, being up 30% from last year, I can believe, because last year at this time, I was doing this full time and Keith was doing it part to full time around working outside of the home. We were able to make enough income for him to leave his job in February. He put in his 2 weeks. His first day home was March 1st of this year. So we got a good 2 weeks in together working full time here, and then the shutdown happened. But we were able to spend most of the year focusing on just building the business and having 2 people home full time, not only building the eBay, but working on and building up all of our multiple streams of income, including Shopify, YouTube, etc. But yeah, it's easy to believe that it's up over last year, number one, because now we have 2 full-time people at home. But number 2, last year's fiasco with the item specifics was really bad. They dropped it right in Q4, and the deadline to have them done was at the end of October. It messed everyone's sales up. Everyone's, I think, algorithm got messed up. They weren't showing up in searches. They did drop new item specifics this year in October, right in the beginning of Q4 again. But unlike last year, these allegedly aren't going to affect you or how you're showing up in searches until February. I will put up a link at the end of this video. It'll pop up in the corner for you. I did a whole video on the item specifics, excuse me, and what it means for us in Q4 and if we can wait till February. But anyway, I can believe it's up from over last year, but 16% over the last month. I feel like our sales have been doing nothing but going down since Q4 started. In fact, we've had days that are worse than days we've had during summer slowdown. We've had days that were worse than when we had our store on 10-day handling when we went down to Florida. But, we are getting better items and better brands in because we're buying wholesale and we're getting stuff from other states and not just the same old bread and butter that we can find here in the thrift stores. So maybe the actual over amount, all the books are saying we're making more money, but I just feel like our volume is way down. And I mean, if your volume has to be down, I guess selling higher priced items is the way to go. But I wish it could be both. I mean, it is Q4, but it is also 2020, the year of the poop. Tomorrow's election day. There's just a lot going on. Anyway, I digress. Let's jump into the photos. You guys are looking at today's photo. We've got them all packed up in the pink bin there that Henry is sitting on. And Hannah is holding our one Poshmark sale from the weekend. We had 20 total sales this weekend. 19 of those were eBay. 1 was Posh. The last 2 weekends in a row, prior to this, we only had 18 eBay sales for the whole weekend. So we're up by 2 sales and finally have 1 on a different platform, but this is still poop. This is still crap. This is crap for any weekend. Summer slowdown, any time of the year. This is bad for people with 2,400 listings. Our volume should be much higher. Here's last Monday's 18. Tuesday, we bounced back out of nowhere. We had 12 sales go out in 11 packages. Wednesday, it dropped back down a little bit to 8. Thursday, we were at 5. And then 3 only on Friday. 2 of those were eBay and 1 Poshmark. So you can kind of see how the volume went up and then back down and then worse and then worse. And then the weekend was, all right, let's go over to eBay. We'll start with the plush, guys, because that's where I always start. It's my favorite. This is the Kelly Toy Unicorn Pegasus, which is also known as an Alicorn, if you didn't know. Kelly Toy is an okay brand, but unicorns in general, Pegasus, those are good animals to pick up regardless of the brand. They typically sell pretty fast and for better money. They're just popular, I guess. But anyway, if they have the wings, they're a Pegasus. If they have the horn, they're a unicorn. If they have both, they're an alicorn. And you can feel free to use all 3. Keywords. I learned this from listing so many of these little plushies like this in the My Little Ponies. This particular one was 50 cents at the Goodwill. She sold for $14.06, and she shipped first class. Next up, we have a Disney Pixar Toy Story Woody. This guy came out of a wholesale lot, so he was about $1, I guess. And he sold for $11.24 and shipped first class. This is Dora del Tennis. This is a Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer. I always want to say Dora the Explorer. With a tennis racket and a cute little tennis dress. I just thought she was cute. She was 50 cents at the Goodwill, and she has the nice yarn hair. And she sold for $11.99 and shipped first class. I did put her little tennis racket against her body real tight and just put one small piece of bubble wrap around her body and the tennis racket, and then wrapped her in tissue paper and then put her in a poly mailer just to make sure that this plastic racket didn't break in shipping. Next up, we have the Zuma Water Rescue Pup from the Nickelodeon Paw Patrol crew. Nickelodeon Junior Show Paw Patrol is still really popular, and I do well with all of the characters. Some are more obscure, harder to find. There was one that was like a superhero I sold for over $20, depending on their size as well. The really big ones can go for 20 or more. Zuma here was just 8 inches big. He's a little chocolate lab. He was 50 cents at the Goodwill. He sold for $12.99 and shipped first class. And then we have a vintage Dakin camel. So Dakin is a good brand to look for. And animals like the camel, the owls, the harder to find, more obscure like possums, things like that, I always tell people to pick up. They're less saturated on any of the selling platforms. And then these realistic looking animals always do well. And also, he's vintage. So this camel had a lot going for him, a lot going on in his corner. He came out of our wholesale lot that we bought at the beginning of the year from our friend Greg. And so his cost was about $1.50, $2 for the camel. And he sold for $17.99 on a best offer. And he shipped first class. Next up, I'm going to show you 2. We have a Disney Pluto and we have a Disney Goofy. One buyer purchased both of these plushies. Goofy here is from the Walt Disney World. Show you he's got his hang tag there, and then he's got his tush tag. So of course, any Disney plush from the Disney store, Disney World, all of those are going to be more valuable than Mattel or Hasbro. Goofy cost 50 cents and he sold for $13.99. Pluto is a just play. So that's an example of a Disney just play is worth less than like the Disney resorts. Pluto was also 50 cents. He sold for $11.99. So the buyer paid roughly $25 for both plush. They shipped together first class. I just put the two of them together on a piece of tissue paper and wrapped them up nice and put them in a poly bag. And they still didn't even weigh I think it was 6 ounces for both. I always love when buyers have multiple purchases. All right, those are the plush that sold this week. Not very many, about 7 of them. We'll go on and get into the clothes here. These are Eileen Fisher jeans. These were about $2 out of a wholesale lot. Average cost of goods was about $2 per piece. These are just straight leg, mid-rise Eileen Fisher jeans, and they were a size 8, which is a pretty average size. They sold within 2 days of being listed for $25 on a best offer. And they shipped, I believe, in a padded flat. We'll double check that. Yes, they did. Next up, we have a Zara woman's skirt. So Zara is a brand that a lot of people tell me and will tell you that is a Bolo brand. And thus far, I have not been very impressed by Zara. Any of the used Zara skirts, dresses, tops, jeans I've ever found, when I go to comp them, I'm sorely disappointed. Most of the Zara items used that I have found have gone for the same prices as any of my run-of-the-mill bread and butter stuff. And then I found some Zara stuff new with tags, retail arbitrage from Marshalls or TJ Maxx, but then they sat forever. So I can tell you, I remember when I sourced this Zara skirt. It was last September. And it was when Bill and David of Gnome and Frog and Sydney, the Posh Boss, and my good friend Holly and Danny, I don't know if you guys know of him, but they were all here to visit. And we went to lunch, and then we spent the day sourcing together. And I found a bunch of Zara stuff new with tags. It was all really super clearance, 77 cents, $1.50, $2, $4. And this is the first one to sell. So they've all been sitting for over a year. It did sell for $42.30. So, I mean, if you're going to sit on something for a year and it's going to sell for that much, that's pretty good. But I don't know that I would consider Zara a Bolo brand, because my stuff that was new with tag sat for a year. I still have some of it listed. And then, like I said, the used stuff seems to comp around the same prices as any regular run-of-the-mill bread and butter brand. But anyway, I was excited to finally sell this skirt. $42.30, shipped in a first class. And this one was probably $2 or $3. Next up, we have some True Religion jeans. These are the 28 Joey Super T bell bottoms. So these are newer. These came out of a wholesale lot. They were about $2. They got some distressing and rips. And I did take a best offer on these of $40. I do like to start my True Religion, my Miss Me's, and my silvers at $50. Fully intending to take best offers of $40 or $45 in the first few months. It's always nice when they sell for full price. You're going to see a pair of silver jeans. We can show you those next, actually. But sometimes I'll take a best offer, and I'm willing to go down to $40. That's why I start at $50, so I have some wiggle room. And these Joey Super Tees are bell-bottom flare. The leg opening was 20 inches, so it's a pretty nice bell-bottom. And the thing I really like about True Religion, the style they do on their flare legs, they always have that extra seam kind of going diagonal here down the back of the leg. I think that's what makes them really cute. Anyway, this went for $40. Cost was $2. And they shipped in a padded flat. Here's the silver jeans. These are the ACO bootcut low rise. They're size 28 by 33. They're women's. You can see what they look like here. And they did start out being listed at $50.99, and that's exactly what they sold for. So this is an example of something I listed that sold full price without going on a best offer, and it sold for $50.99. So you can still get that price for the Bolo luxury brands of jeans like Silver, Miss Me, and True. I do it all the time. True Religion, I should say. I get that or even more on Poshmark sometimes. But do be willing to wiggle a little bit. know that you're probably going to take 5 or 10 less, but it's always nice when they sell for full price. This pair came out of Wholesale, so it was about $2, and then it shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have these men's encrypted paint splattered, ripped, distressed, bleached. Tons of keywords going on here with these shorts. These came out of the Wholesale lot. Average cost per piece was $2. You guys saw a bunch of the men's jeans out of that lot that sold last week. Some really great brands I'm learning. The encrypted is really good. These are just shorts, but they're a size 42, so they're pretty big. And then, of course, they're so super unique with all the paint splatters. And I don't know if someone bought these to wear them for fashion, or maybe someone that's a painter or construction worker who doesn't care if they look messed up because they're going to get messed up at work. But anyway, they sold for a best offer of $26.99, and they shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have Warp and Weft women's jeans. These are the Milan High Rise. Or Milan High Rise. These came out of a ThredUp box. So this is a new to me brand that I had never heard of. It is a Bolo. It's a pretty good brand. I learned about it because it came in a ThredUp. I've never seen it in the wild. The average cost typically in a ThredUp box for us is $1.60 to $1.80, give or take, if we have free shipping. This pair sold for $30.99. And I believe they shipped in a padded flat. Yes, they did. Next up, we have this pair of men's North Face sweatpants. So I listed these on Friday, and they sold over the weekend. You guys know that North Face is a Bolo brand for sure. Sells quick, sells for good money. The only thing I would warn you about, and I've talked about this on the channel before, is North Face does really crack down on you selling anything of theirs new with tags. Allegedly, legend has it, once upon a time they had some problems with employees stealing items from the store and then reselling them on eBay, Poshmark, and other platforms. So North Face actually has like a whole team of people that they employ. I don't know if they're a legal team or just a team of people, but they actually pay them and employ them to go online and look for North Face new tags, and they will hit you with authentication claims, and you can get your account suspended. So I would be very careful on eBay of selling new tags. Everyone says it's okay over on Poshmark if you're comfortable with that. But I would absolutely advise you against new tags on eBay. I've heard too many horror stories of people being shut down and suspended. However, they are not on the Vera list, and it does seem to be okay if you list used, because that's clearly not stolen. These sweatpants came out of a Wholesale lot. So they were about $2. And again, they sold, I want to say they sold on Saturday. So within 24 hours of being listed, they sold for a best offer $20. And they're just plain black medium sweatpants. So keep your eyes out in the thrift stores for the North Face. And here's a pair of men's Wranglers. Now, these are unique Wranglers. You can see they're not just your run-of-the-mill blue jeans. These were $2 out of a Wholesale lot, and they are super awesome. They are camouflaged with the trees and the leaves, and you can see the keywords I used were camouflage and hunting. I'm sure that someone did buy these to go hunting in. They're pretty super cool. They're pretty good size too. They were also a size 36. So these Wranglers sold for a best offer of $31, and they shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have these Vera Wong oil spill pattern skinny jeans, junior size 3. These have been around for years. These came from our local thrift store that closed in 2018. So, I mean, that tells you how long these have been around. I actually pulled these out of our store because the pictures on them were just atrocious. I redid the photos and put them back in and dropped the price and charged shipping on them instead of having them up for like $20 free ship. I put them up for about $13 You can see they sold for $13.30, and then the buyer paid about $7 shipping. I believe the total was $20 and some change. So, I mean, I couldn't sell them for $18 free ship for years, but I took them out, redid the photos, and put them back in and dropped the price and charged shipping, and they sold within a week of trying that. So I know I've been talking about this a lot on the channel because it's something I'm actually doing right now. Go back through your old listings. If you've got stuff from years ago that's not moving, and it was, you know, when you were first starting out, and there's no shame in this because even I did it. We all took poopy pictures in the beginning. So if you have stuff that's from the beginning when you weren't really sure, you know, I don't even think I put full-length photos of jeans in way back when. Pull them out, rephotograph them, put them back in, see what happens. Because stuff has been selling for me that I do that with. And I didn't think I'd get, you know, 20 for these, but I did in total. So here's a Polo Ralph Lauren's men's shirt. This was an average cost of $1 out of a wholesale lot. It's just a plain shirt, but it is a 3XLT. So it's 3 extra large. It's for tall men. It's got the double flags right there. So it's a good size. It's got American flags on it. And it sold for best offer, $18.99 and shipped first class. Next up, we have a Columbia men's button front shirt, double XL. This is the vintage fishing short shirt. We had 3 of these. They were all orange. They all came out of the same wholesale lot. They were about $2. This one looks awful. It's wrinkled. There's something about these Columbia fishing shirts. They just wrinkle like badly. So if you find these, they're a Bolo, but steam them. Do better photos than us. Be better than us. Learn from our mistakes. Anyway, this Columbia sold for $17.99 on a best offer and shipped first class. And then last but not least, we have a Magellan Outdoors women's sweatshirt. So this is an okay brand. I would consider it bread and butter. This came to us in a wholesale lot. So it's about $2. Magellan Outdoors is, like I said, a pretty decent brand, especially for men. If you find the Magellan vintage fishing shirts or like their outdoor pants for men, those are definitely a Bolo. This sold for a best offer of $20.03 and shipped, I want to say, when it had a flat. It did. So there you go. That's the last of what I wanted to show you this week. Let me know down in the comments below how your sales have been, what kind of things you're selling, what's moving for you, how Q4 is going. I like to hear from you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe and help us feed a hungry hippo. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. You can search for it on Facebook or use the link in the description box to join. Until next time, go be productive. Go make some money. Happy November, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. Y'all are the best. Bye.